Hello, hi. Hi, Inky. Yeah, surprise stream. Surprise. Yeah, it's Friday, right? I hope you're having a good Friday. I hope you had a good week. And if my messy hair is any indication of how my week has been, it's been just getting into the routine is a little bit hard. So, not that it's hard, but it's like it takes a little while to get back into things. And so surprise stream because my husband is watching the kids, and so they don't run around every 5 minutes. They're asking for something. So it is what it is, and it's totally fine. But I was like, I need some time to just stream and not be distracted and pulled into other things, because today, I'm finally going to talk about my haul from the Portland, or the pen show in Portland. So the PNW Pen Show, Pacific Northwest. It happened last weekend. It's been a week. It's been a week. And so it was last Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday was a VIP event only. So it was a few hours of, if you wanted to sort of walk around the show floor. Saturday and Sunday was basically the main event. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about recap. And hi, Karina. Karina, who was there at the PNW Pen Show. And we finally got to meet up again because it's been like more than 6 months. And yeah, it was a good pen show. I feel like for me, pen shows are a lot about the people. Friends, new friends, old friends, all kinds of friends, vendors, makers, and getting to sort of like, start and also continue relationships that you can build online. But then you meet people in person, and it's like all of a sudden it's like, you click because you've had this rapport of hanging out in chat or, elsewhere online. And it's like, yay, we finally get to meet in person. Oh, it was so nice to see you too, Karina, and my family had a blast. So, my husband actually, who is not a pen person, so this is kind of a funny story because my husband understands my passion for pens. I got him into Jetstream, so he uses the multi-pen from Hobonichi every year. When I make my order, he always asks me for the pen, which is totally cool because we are all about penabling, right? And he's also a gel pen person. So he'll do the multi-pen, and he'll do a gel pen and a ballpoint. And it was kind of funny because he met Mark from Rickshaw, and Mark also admitted that he's a ballpoint person. And it's kind of funny because, Mark from Rickshaw Bags makes these pen sleeves and pen pouches and things like that. And so it's just kind of funny that, people are like, but also I'm kind of more into ballpoint pens. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's all stationery. It's all pens. It's all, but ew. Hi, SuperPlannerGirl. Yay, you're here. I'm so glad you made it. I have a little bit of happy mail from SuperPlannerGirl that I wanted to share too. And yeah, so we're just going to chat. So if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, let me know how your week has been. Are you planning to go to any pen shows? Because if you have any questions or you want some tips, or, you just kind of want to know the lay of how pen shows are, what to expect, feel free to throw that in the chat. And yeah, we'll just kind of talk about hauls and things like that. So at times a good ballpoint can be necessary. Hi. Hi, Derek. How's it going? Yes, that's true too. And also, as we've kind of found out this year, depending on how the paper performs too, right? Sometimes you're kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to go to pens that will work with my notebook or planner or whatever. So, I think there's always room for a ballpoint. I think there's always room for a good gel pen. I feel like I can't fully step away from, a good gel pen. And especially in my planners and just notebooks that I like to have on the go or that I travel with, I like to have a good gel pen or just a decent pen that works and that you can use on the fly. The ink will dry fast. So yes, so that's a good point. Ballpoints have have a space in our... So, Portland, right? Let's dive into it. So first I want to say I didn't go down to Portland for the pen show. Sadly, I wish I had, because then I could have stayed for longer. But what happened was, the timing wise, that it just worked out that me, my husband, and my 2 kids did a road trip down to Seattle from British Columbia, Canada. We drove down to Seattle, stayed there for a day, met up with family who flew over from New Zealand, who had also visited some friends. And so they had already been, in the States for a week and a half or so. And so for the last leg of their trip, they wanted to meet up with us. And so we drove down to Seattle, met up with them. And then we all drove down to Portland, spent a few days there. And so timing wise, it just happened to coincide with the PNW Pen Show. And so I kind of went, I have to stay for an extra day just to see everyone, to see all my friends, and then also to experience it, because I've never been to the PNW Pen Show. And so because my kids and my husband were there, they also wanted to see what a pen show was about. And their reflection was that it's a small pen show, but it was fun. So I think that kind of recaps the Portland Pen Show in a nutshell, is that it's small, or smaller than some other pen shows, especially if you're comparing to even, the California Pen Show, and especially the SF Pen Show, 2 of the pen shows that I've been to before. The PNW Pen Show is definitely on a smaller scale, but I felt like it was more intimate that way. And so I got to spend more time with people that I wanted to spend time with. I got to meet people that, I've been following on Instagram and on socials, and I got to meet new people. And I got to hang out with Karina and Bart and a few other people. And so it was just made it more intimate and more, personable, if that makes sense. I've been keeping a Lamy 2000 with Jetstream inserts in my A5 plotter instead of a fountain pen. Oh, that's awesome, Derek. That's a good idea. That makes sense. Carol. Yes. Oh, Wild Twitch. Hello, Spicy. How are you? Best thing about the smaller shows is the time with people. 100% agree, Karina. For sure. And Karina, if you don't know Karina from Karina Loves to Plan, definitely check her out, because she just uploaded or published a YouTube video about her experience there. And she was teaching a couple of workshop sessions. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. Let's see. I was going to share it with you, and here we go. There we go. Karina. I'm going to put Karina on the spot. So Karina uploaded this PNW Pen Show vlog haul and giveaway from someone special, a special giveaway. So definitely check it out. And Karina is she is great. Karina's great. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, I feel like if you sort of click with people and you keep meeting up with them at pen shows and other, stationery events and stuff like that, we gravitate toward each other, right? So it's just one of those things. That's why pen shows are such a great place to meet up with people and also hang out with people, because it's just a great place to catch up. And when I see people like Karina at a pen show, it's you've been interacting online and on Instagram and stuff, but in person, it's okay, so what's new? Let's just catch up. And that's kind of it with everyone that I've gotten to know over time. And when I see them in person, it's sort of a quick oh, you're this person and I'm this person. Cool. Okay, so now what are you up to? Right? And I feel like we just kind of click that way. So yeah, it's me. Giveaway from Heinz pen. Yeah, it's a really nice pen, by the way. It's a nice pocket pen. Yeah, and we never meet in in our home cities just pen shows. I know. We're both Canadian and we have to like fly to pen shows in order to meet up. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, go check it out, Super Planner Girl. You'll like it. So so I was there for a road trip. So I happened to be there on Friday for the VIP event. So this was like a special event that was held on Friday. So you had to pay it was a special ticket to get in on the Friday versus like Saturday and Sunday were like general admission. So you could pay for, Saturday and or Sunday. So then I happened to go on Friday because I really just wanted to experience the pen show, probably on like a less busy scale too, because Saturday and Sunday for me, from what I heard too, was that there were more people than last year or previous years, and probably more people than expected maybe, but I don't know that for sure. So I was there on the Friday, and then I was there for a couple of hours on Saturday. But in that time, I got to see a bunch of people. I got to try out a few things, and then I also bought a few things. So I will share my haul. We're just going to go through things as they happen, basically. So on the Thursday, because we happened to drive down to Portland on Wednesday, so on the Wednesday, I think, in the afternoon, after we got there, I walked over. We just happened to stay at a hotel in the city. And so I walked over to Oblation. And if you don't know Oblation, they're a letterpress and stationery shop. And the reason why I really wanted to check them out is because Kelly from Kelly Love Letters, who co-hosts the Stationery Cafe podcast with April from Penguins Creative. She used to work there. And so I know in the few podcast episodes from the past, Kelly had sort of mentioned Oblation and stuff. And I thought, if I ever go to Portland, which it's kind of crazy that living in British Columbia, this is the first time I've been to Portland. But I thought, if I ever go down to Portland, I have to go check out Oblation and see what they're like. And it was such a nice shop with such nice people there. So it was bigger than I expected, and they had, a bunch of stationery, which is expected, but they also had typewriters that you could try out and look at. And then they had a whole section in the back that was about like letterpress, like invitations and cards. And it was kind of really cool to see that like stationery, fountain pens, up front, and then the connection between letterpress printing and just taking the time to create like cards and stuff like that. Everything's like handmade, right? And so it was kind of nice to see that connection there. Must be nice to go to all these pen shows. Spicy, I'm not gonna lie, I wish I could go to more pen shows. The only pen shows I'm able to go to currently are in LA, the California Pen Show, which is usually in February, and I've been to 2 of them. And then the SF Pen Show, which is in San Francisco, in August. And this year will be my 3rd time going there. So this year I was able to go to the PNW Pen Show, even for a little bit. So yeah, I wish I could go to more though. It's just, it's trying to get to these places. Is time, money, so I would also love to go to international pen shows. That would be fun, but we'll see. Hi, Needle Girl. The letterpress label on the show ink is amazing. Yes, it is. It is. Portland sounds fancy to me. Portland seems like a really, really fun city. Like, I don't think we got to spend enough time to really absorb all of it. But we did get to the museum in Portland. We did, walk around and experience it a little bit. I went to another place I went to. So I'll show you what I got at Oblation before I went to the pen show. Got a postcard. So that's cute. And then I ended up getting Sailor Fude de Manin, the 55-degree one. So the reason why I got that is because I have this one, which I forget is a 40, 45, something like that. And then this one is 55. So what you can do with these is they're bent. The nibs are bent, right? So you could, like, it's great for sketching, like artwork, but it's also good for hand lettering, or if you just like to experiment with different line variations when you're writing. And so I did see this in the store and I thought, you know what? I haven't seen this in stock in local shops. And so I ended up picking that up and got the postcard. They're also a Travelers Company partner shop. And so I used the stamp. I stamped a few extras too, because you have to. And then I got one of Kelly's stickers, which is really, really cute. And I think it's a nice message. And I really wanted one. Then I also went to Powell's bookstore or bookshop, Powell's Books. It's a huge bookstore. It takes up like a whole corner of a block. And so I thought, like, it's really cool when like non-stationary places have stationery, like stickers and stuff like that. And I thought it was really well designed. So, and those were for free. They were just like, you could just pick up a few stickers. And so of course I did, because it's going into my travel journal. Cute rickshaw bag. Thanks, Carol. My Grail show is tips in Tokyo. Yes, Karina, mine too. Yes, the Tokyo Pen Show for sure. I also want to go to the Dutch Pen Show, the Pen Show in London, Malaysia. Like, let's just, you know, we might as well do like a whole world tour of pen shows, right? Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome in. Thanks for joining. I think it would be cool to plan a trip around going to the Dutch Pen Show. Yes, Derek. Dutch Pen Show for sure. Tips for sure. Yeah. Yes, Derek. If you haven't seen Derek's videos on YouTube, definitely check them out. I loved my interview with Derek, by the way. if I'm gonna honk our own horn. We had to sit down and talked about art and how I got started in art. And then we talked about stationery and things like that. So definitely check out Derek's YouTube as well. Pen Show World Cruise. Oh, that would be amazing. Yes. Hi, Miss Marilyn. How are you? My city made a very cool library where you can go play board games, video games, and even use some rooms for a pen club or whatever you want. Yeah. Think I'm going to try making a pen club. You definitely should, Spicy. They do have that in Vancouver as well. And the Vancouver Pen Club has met in a few libraries. So the Vancouver Library has different locations, right? And so they've kind of been able to use the community rooms to book them. And then also there was a group of us in the Vancouver Pen Friends Discord. Shout out. And we met at a community center a few weeks ago. So yeah, that was really fun. And it's good. Like sometimes you have to pay a little bit, right, to reserve a room in a community center or a library or something like that. But if you can also, if they have it for free, that's awesome too. But yeah, it's a good way of using up space. And especially if they have like tables where you can set up like ink samples and, you know, swatch inks and stuff like that. That would be awesome too. Oh, bye, Karina. I hope Lucy's okay. Take care. Thanks for coming in for a little bit anyways. It was so good to hang out. All I need to do is open my door across the street and oh, there you go, Spicy. You should just put it out there to see if anyone that's able to access that location is able to come out too. Like I drove 45 minutes to an hour to get into the city of Vancouver to hang out with people, and I will do it. So I'm sure if anyone's sort of able to get to the place, you could have, you know, a meetup, a group of people who want to share ink samples and stuff like that. It's always fun, right? It's always fun to meet people in person that are into the same kind of stuff, and you can geek out. You can flex your pilot. I know it. Oh yeah, for sure. Flex it all you can. So on the Friday, I went to the VIP event, and it was fun. It was really, really fun because it was kind of low key. There weren't a lot of people. It wasn't so busy that, it wasn't like a pen show general day where it gets super busy and you're trying to like get to the tables. I kind of went in and I was like, okay, cool. Like I could just stop and talk to the vendors. And so I did. I ended up hanging out with Bart from Zodiac Pens for a while. And then I also went to the Oblation table. So I did get an ink while I was at the store. And this is called Oblation Olive, and it's a really, really nice olive green. And I'll show you swatches as I talk about these inks, but here's a small one. So it's this color. It's like a typical sort of olive green. And I also got this sticker to go with it. So this is the sticker, Oblation Olive. And then when I went on Friday, they had told me that there was going to be a show ink, and it was this one, Oregon Marionberry. And it's such a nice plum mauve color. And my little swatch there. So it's that. So I thought that was really cool. And they also had like stickers and things like that to go with it. And so I picked up this sticker. Ink is my jam. Really, really cute, right? So well designed. It goes with the color scheme of the ink. And I love the bottle. Like this is letterpressed. So you can see how thick sort of this, I don't know what this material is anyway. It's kind of like a fuzzy, it's kind of like a fuzzy paper. Hi, Pixelette. How's it going? I'm so glad you were able to join. Yeah, if it was in a jam bottle. I don't know how it would keep in that, but yeah, that would be hilarious. And then I also picked up the sticker, which I thought was really, really cute. And a letterpressed little notepad. I just thought it was cute. And it goes really well with the Oblation Olive. So that was my little haul from Oblation. And that was on Friday. And then I met up or saw Mark from Rickshaw Bags, talked to him for a while, and then he just handed me this fuzzy pen sleeve. And if you don't know, at every pen show or most pen shows, Rickshaw has like a special pen sleeve that you can attach to the lanyard. And I've been able to get one for the California Pen Show 2 years in a row, and I am yet to, I want one for the SF Pen Show, so I'm gonna put that out there. But so I talked to Mark for a bit, and then he gave this to me, which I thought was really, really cool. And also because it's so fuzzy and soft, and it's like an emotional support pen sleeve almost. Like I had this around my neck and I was just kind of like stroking it, which is weird, but also if you get it, you get it, right? But that was really cool. And that is like a fuzzy brown material, which also came with stickers. So there you have the Sasquatch holding a fountain pen, probably walking around in the forest, and then a couple of other stickers. So I thought that was really, really cool. Notepad's always useful, right? Like, who doesn't use a notepad? You can always use it for something. Love a fuzzy pen pouch. I know, the fuzzy is just so nice. It's so nice to feel. And then what else did I do? Okay, so the other thing I got on Friday was this Rickshaw Fillmore, and I got it at Dromgool's. So I got it because I met Tony from Blackwater. I think her Instagram handle is little Doodle. She has a YouTube channel, and her husband makes, and she and her husband make leather journal covers and just like general sort of covers and other leather goods, I think. But it's very, very cool and awesome. So I love this sort of like octopus theme that they have. But she mentioned that she had gotten this at Dromgool's, and I thought, you know what, when Rickshaw showed this off on Instagram, I was like, cats, I want it because cats. And so I went over to Dromgool's and they had it, and I wanted to get a Fillmore model because I have the Sinclair, which is you open it at the top, but also because the Sinclair has 3 sort of pen things, like pen inserts, and this one has 6. So you could put 6 fountain pens, very, very cozy in this plush felt or material. And then there's also this little pocket in the front here, so you could put like a little notepad, you know, or something else in the front. You could also put a 2-pen sleeve, or I guess so, sleeve in the front if you wanted to have 8 pens maybe on the go. And then there's also a folder in the front. And so I thought that's really cool. And you also zip it all the way around like a cover, right? So I really wanted this, and I thought it's very, very pretty and very cute. I like the little pink accent in it too. Touch-up pouches look pretty. Yeah. I love my Fillmore. I have one from, White Bear Pens. Yes, I saw that at the California Pen Show. Is that the one, like the bear is the astronaut? Because it's so cute. At a pen club a few weeks ago, I had, I think, 15 pens in a Sinclair. Wow, that must have been a chunky Sinclair. Because I have seen people fit quite a few pens in there. And I'm like, But that's good that you were able to. TaintedCrimson, how's it going? Happy Friday. Thanks for joining. I want to show you the my Stalogy. So remind me if I don't, but I will show you my Stalogy and platinum carbon black and platinum chokuro in there. So yes, it's so darn cute. Yeah, it is so cute. I was so tempted to get that one, SuperPlannerGirl, and then I didn't. I was just like, maybe not. But then I saw this design, and then I was like, I really want a Fillmore. So I just wanted to, I was like, I might as well pick it up. Yeah, so that happened on Friday. And then let's get into, so I met Bart again. I met up with Bart, trolled him for a little bit, sat at his booth or at his table and just hung out. The cats are so cute. I know, right? They're just so cute. And like, I love their expressions. And I love that the design goes all the way around, and it's kind of like a continuous sort of design. So the black, the white, and the little bit of like pink, and then the pop of pink when you open it. It's just so cute. Like, it's really, really nice. So, so Bart gave me a few ink samples, some limited edition, some hard to get inks, and then also passed on this bottle of ink, which we'll paint with probably next week because I'm not going to have time to do it today. But this one is Cat's Eye Nebula. It's a shimmer ink, and it's pretty light. It's like a light green, and not sure how legible it really is, but this is the swatch. And then these are the other 3 that Bart handed over. Very kindly gifted. So yeah, this is a really nice ink, I would say. But I feel like maybe it's not as legible if you're putting it into a fountain pen maybe. But let me know if you have done that and what you think. Some of us are derpy. I know. Some of you just want to boop too. Nice haul. Yeah, it's actually a smaller haul than like if you after my SF pen show. Yeah, my SF pen show haul and even California pen show haul this year. I walked away with more things than I intended to, but I think the PNW show, because it was on a smaller scale, I think that's why I kind of like, I just, I picked out the things that I wanted and I was like, you know what, I'm good. Like I could buy more, but I didn't want to. And I think it kind of leaves room too to add things to a wish list. As you sort of see things and experience things at a pen show and you feel like maybe it's not the right time to buy all the things, but you can always add them to a wish list. And then next time you see that vendor, right, you can pick it up. And that's kind of what I did with the Fillmore, this design, especially because this was like months ago, I think, that Rickshaw sort of shared this design. And I thought, you know what, if I see it in person, I'll see what I think. And when I saw it in person, I was like, yeah, I love it. What kind of color have you been into? Personally, I'm usually into like blues, greens, teals. I've been trying to do more purple, but that's kind of what I'm drawn to. And then I do love like plum colors, mauve colors, those kind of shades. But yeah. I don't mind putting shimmers on UFO nibs. I can just remove them and clean if needed. Yes, shimmers are fine. I have a couple of pens that are dedicated to shimmer inks if I do ink up shimmer inks. And they are pens that are easy to clean, that I just use shimmer in because it's like glitter, right? Like once you get glitter on something, you will get glitter on everything and it will never leave. Like it doesn't matter how much you clean it out. You'll always get that little glitter or shimmer particle that hangs out, shows up. And so if I have, like for me, if I have dedicated pens for shimmer inks, it's not that big of a deal if shimmer hangs around for a little bit, right? Because I'll just put another shimmer ink in and it's fine. So, but yeah, definitely easy to clean pens, easy to clean nibs are kind of my thing. And then also I do like broad nibs, but I've heard people use, medium fine. And it kind of just depends on nib, feed, and pen, right? You haven't used Cat's Eye Nebula? Yeah. Teals are awesome. Next will be Corolla Flower Painting Rickshaw Edition. Shh, Derek. I don't know, maybe. Who knows? Who knows what might happen? Mark and I did talk. I do have to email Mark about something, but we did talk at the pen show. Plum and magenta I love too. Yeah. And good burgundy ink. Yes. Like wine colors. Very, very nice. You have 7 bottles of Manyo Ikibi? That's awesome. It is such a nice ink. That's definitely like in the top for sure. Teals, turquoise, and purples. Yeah, those are really nice. Now that they can print fabric on demand. Yeah, right? For sure. I agree. It's so much easier to get like nice designs, and more variety. I feel like the more variety that there's out there, then, if you have specific tastes and specific sort of themes that you're into, then it's easier for you to find something that sort of speaks to you, right? So other stickers that I got. Oh, you know what? I should show you a few stickers I got, and then I'll show you what my kids got. Their haul and then my haul. So Wonderland 222 was there. I didn't have enough time to sample their paper. They had brought like their planners, the planner or paper that they're using for next year. I ran out of time to try out their paper. But they had a whole table of stickers that you could just take for free. And so I got a couple of those, as did my kids. And then I got this sticker from the Washi Station. And so I bought this, and then they gave a couple of freebie stickers. And my kids, we'll transition into their haul first. My kids, who were there for like an hour on Saturday, literally went around to every table and were just like, ooh, this. Can I get this? Can I get the stickers? And so they got a couple of washi tapes from the Washi Station. I thought this was really cool. Look at how bright and fun this is. Rainbow colors. And cats, too. And so if you know, we lost a kitty a few weeks ago or a month ago now, and at the beginning of July, and he was a tuxedo cat. And so when one of my girls, she saw this washi tape, she's like, "Oh, looks like our kitty that we lost." And so she wanted to get that, and the rainbow was kind of like, a really nice sign. And then my other daughter got this, which is like really, really cute. It's more like doodles. But yeah, it was really good. This one has backpack. These two have backpacks on. That's so cute. So they got those. I think everyone I know with Rickshaw, they have multiples. You have to, right? And they have like sleeves and pouches and like different designs and stuff. So it's like, yeah, you got to get multiples. You got to get different types. Touch has been a breath of fresh air for me. That's awesome. The ink changes depending on colors. That's cool. I don't think I have a touch ink, but they were there at the PNW Pen Show, and they had beautiful pens, but I didn't get one because I did not budget for that. Yeah, the Washi Station sticker is really cute, right? It's really, really cute. Those tapes are precious. I know. Those washi tapes are so precious. Okay, and then my kids met Jonathan Brooks from Carolina Pen Company, and he was like, "Oh, just grab a couple of pen rests." And so he gifted them these pen rests. And if you watch, Derek will know in the interview that we did, I talked about one of my favorite accessory or pen adjacent things are pen rests and pen trays, basically anything I can put pens into, because I would probably include pen pouches and pen sleeves too. Anything that kind of shows off my pens or keeps them safe and cozy are kind of I love that. So I was like, ooh, maybe I can have one. But no, my girls are like, we have preppies. We're going to use this for our pens. So I thought that was really nice and very cool. I love the color combo of this. And then we went over to Inkapet, which is really, really cool. I don't know the names, but it's like a young person run company. And they're 3D printed, like different items, like they had pen rests and stuff like that, but also these ink vial holders. And so my girls saw the axolotl and they were like, ooh, yes, this one. So of course, because they're twins, they have to have the same thing. And so they both picked up this. And I thought it's really cool because the colors, like it's rainbow color, basically, because it has all of the colors. And it's just really nice. So these are ink vial holders. And so we went over to the PNW Pen Club table where they had like free ink samples. They also had like free Pen World magazines, and they also had inked up fountain pens that you could test, so like tester pens. And so yeah, the girls each got an ink sample to pick. So one of my girls, because her favorite color is purple, she picked Robert Oster Deep Purple. And then my other daughter picked Diamine Coral because her favorite color is red or pink. And so coral is like a nice in between. So yeah, their first kind of like ink sample experience. I have an Inktopus by Ink Pet. So cute. Yeah, so I got this. I got this for myself. I was like, well, I should get one too, right? So it's the same sort of color variation. And it's really, really cute. Just throw your ink sample in there, right? Bright orange. Pilot Fu. Oh, yes, I have that. It's like a bright orange and red. Yeah. I have like a small bottle of that. Yeah. So that's their haul. That was like, and then they were like, oh, can we pick out a pen? And I was like, we gotta go. Because yeah, I did not budget for them to have pens too, but I did get a couple of pens. So let's go into that. So I ended up getting 2 pens. Initially I had thought I would probably get 1 pen. I had my eye on something from Zodiac Pen Co. So Bart had shared after, let me tell you the story that led up to this. After I got the Esterbrook, the TCMC SD, right? This is the collaboration between Esterbrook and the Coffee Monsters Co. I thought, you know what? I love this grip section. This is made by Jonathan Brooks from Carolina Pen Company. And I thought it is such a nice material, right? I love the swirls. I love the color combo. And then Bart sent me a message saying, well, I have a pen that uses that material. And it's made by Jonathan Brooks. It's called Caffeine Withdrawals. And I have a pen. So he sent me a video and I was like, ooh, bring it to Portland and let me take a look at it. And so he did, and I loved it. I fell in love with it. So this is a Capricorn, the Capricorn model, which is my sign. And if you don't know Zodiac Pen Company, it's Bart makes pens in models that are named after astrological signs. And so each model has a different shape, a different feel, which aligns with whatever sign it is. So this is a Capricorn model. And this uses that material, the swirly material. And so it's basically like the sibling to this now, right? So that grip section, that little bit there, is basically this whole pen. And the funny thing, or the fun thing, is that there's a lot more color, a lot more depth that went into the material, like into the swirl design. So you could see more red, right? A little bit more orange in there. A lot of cream, which I love. And then I love this sort of like swirly pattern of how they combined. So yeah, definitely. Ooh, yeah. Right. The Inktivus is darn, it's so cute for sure, for sure. And so Bart threw in a gold, like a gold plated nib because it really went well with the material. But I got a nib. This is a broad nib from Gena. And Gena tuned it and smoothed it out and just sort of like, you know, Gena-fied it. And I thought, you know what, Gena did their magic on this nib. I'm going to throw it into this pen. And so it's just a broad nib in this, but it is so nice. And what did I ink it up with? Oh, I inked it up with the show ink. So I threw this in there because, so that's the ink. So I threw this ink in there because I think this is a great, matchup, right? Like a plum color. So you could go with like any brown. You don't have to go with any ink that matches a pen, but if you are the type of person who likes to match inks with their pens, which I tend to do. I don't feel like I have to do it, but I like to do it. So I ended up throwing this in there, and it is such a nice combination. And then I got the sleeve as well. So you can get like a matching or your astrological sign on there, which is really, really cool. And put it around your lanyard. The second pen I got is super, super special. This is Schon Design, so it's by Ian Schon, and Custom Nib Studio. So Ian made this pen for Gena from Custom Nib Studio, and they soft launched it at the Portland Pen Show. I think it's available now on Gena's website, or should be shortly, if they have any left, which they should. But yeah, it's really, really nice. So this design is meant to be like a Japanese inspiration, Japanese inspired, like a fiber sort of design. And so they're kind of like, I'm trying to get closer, yeah. They're kind of like little X's, but each one is unique, sort of uniquely put in there, that there is no two pens that are the same. And even within the pen, this design is like, it's really unique. Like, it's not uniformly patterned, if that makes sense. Like, there's sort of just, like, it looks like a pattern, but there's like slight variation in the spacing between them and stuff, which is very, very cool. The material is ultem, so it is like a very durable plastic. The other ultem pen that I have featured and mentioned before is a Skogsy Baby Suero, and it's this like shiny ultem, and so this one's more like a matte finish. But this is similar in that it's like lightweight, which kind of seems surprising for a pen, but it's like a very light pen. So this is a full-size pen, but it feels very, very light. And so the nib I have in it is a perspective nib, ground by Gena, which I had gotten at the California Pen Show. And I thought, you know what? I should throw that in there because it's very, very nice. So I have written with a perspective nib before, but this is what I threw into it. I threw a Mario Stationery teal waistband, which is like one of my favorite teals by one of my favorite people, Eric from Amarillo Stationery. And I thought that was a really nice sort of combination with the black and with a nib. So it's a great journaling pen. It's a great journaling nib. And it's just a lovely, lovely design. And I don't have any pens from Schon Design. I've always wanted one. And so having a pen that's by Ian for Gena, it just makes it super, super special, I think. It's like a collaboration. Like when Gena and I were talking about it, it's like a collaboration in the community of, you know, two people who come at it from different perspectives. Maybe, you know, like a maker and a nib specialist. And they just, you know, put together a design that worked, you know, that Ian was able to make, but also that fulfilled the vision that Gena had for their pen. How did I miss you were streaming indie? I don't know. I only put it on Instagram, so I was like, I think I'm able to stream at this time, so show up if you want. But of course the replay is gonna be up, so you can watch the VOD and you can also watch the replay on YouTube. So if you are watching the replay now, thank you so much. I appreciate you. But I did want to spend some time going over my haul, just chatting about the pen show, because instead I could have just like put out a YouTube video with my haul, but I was like, you know what? I might as well chat about it and hang out with people. So that's why it's not a curated video of my haul. So it's more of a conversation. But yeah, so those are my 2 pen purchases. The Schon design for Custom Nib Studio fountain pen, and then the Zodiac Pen Co. Capricorn model of Caffeine Withdrawal is the, let me show you, that's a sticker. Caffeine Withdrawals by Brooks. Yeah, so I just thought it was really, really nice. I love the connection to the TCMC SD with that material. And I love the story and the collaboration that went into this pen. And I thought, you know what? I would love, as much as I can, support makers and creators in the community, because this community has done a lot for me and supports me a lot. If I can sort of put that out there as well for other people, then it's something I will try and do. So this is just what came with the pen, because you can eyedropper it. So they include instructions and also an O-ring just in case you want to do that. And then I also got some stamps, because that's what you do. If there are stamps from vendors, I will stamp them. I will use them. And so my kids did the same. So I thought that was kind of fun. But I think that's it, right? I think that's my haul. I got 2 pens. I got the Fillmore pen pouch. I got the Show ink. Very, very cool. And then I got a few things, you know, a few other things from Oblation. And stickers. I think I sort of walked away with maybe more stickers than usual. Some were freebies, some I purchased. But that's kind of it. And I took photos. So these are me and Karina. And then with my girls, Oblation, with Mark. Oh, Bart, Karina, and I. There you go. And then Gena. You know what I didn't show you is I got Gena to grind a pen. So the last thing, I think, this isn't really an acquisition, but it is a service I got. I did sign up for a nib grinding appointment with Gena for the show. And so the story behind this is a Sailor Pro Gear soda pop. And I got this at the California Pen Show when they had a discount going on at the Sailor North America table. And I was like, I don't have a Pro Gear. I really want one in my collection. It's a 21K nib, gold nib. And all they had left was a music nib and something else. But I thought, you know what, I'll take a music nib. If I don't like it, you know me, I'll just get it ground. So turns out I don't like the music nib. It just didn't work the way that I hold my pens, I guess. And so I took it to Gena and basically asked, like, what can you grind this into? So if you have a music nib and it doesn't work for you, don't feel bad, because Gena said a lot of people do bring music nibs in. You either like it or you don't. So you either use it or it's just not useful to you in the way that it's intended, maybe. And so there are a few things you can get it ground into. The things that you can get it ground into is basically like a stubby variation. So you can get a stub, you can get an architect, maybe not an architect, but you can get like cursive italics, that kind of variation. What you can't get it ground into is like a perspective type of like naginata grind, because of the tipping and just because that you're starting it out from a music nib. And so I ended up going with a smooth cursive italic. But Gena left the sort of wideness or broadness of a music nib, and so it's like a very broad, or it's a broad, smooth cursive italic. And so that's what it looks like, which is so much, it's smooth. It's so much more useful to me in my sort of daily journaling or writing. And it's like, it's a dream now. So I love it. And I inked it up with, as you can see in here, I inked it up with Yoseka ceramics ink line called Ming Kong Kue Blue. I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly, but it's this really, really lovely bright blue, which is perfect for the teal body of this pen. So that's what I ended up getting ground, and I love it now, and I can finally sort of use my Sailor Pro gear and not feel like, you know, it was an impulse buy, which it was, but, you know, it wasn't a waste. Now I love it. I can't wait until Rosa Mexicano relaunches. He sent me a sample with it in a pen I got from him, and I'm so obsessed with it. Yeah, SuperPlannerGirl. It is such a nice ink. Rosa Mexicano. It's like a magenta, very, very bright, fun color for sure. What's the use of a stamp if you don't stamp it for your collection, right? That's exactly right. So stamps, show me all the stamps. So this is my travel journal, TN. So I have 3 inserts in it. The first insert is for family trips. So every time I go away on a trip or something, I will print out photos and I'll throw them into this insert and just do a little bit of journaling about my experience and stuff like that. I love sort of capturing the memories and sort of reflecting on, you know, what stood out to me, who did I meet, you know, stories like that, which I can always look back on. But I also have an insert in the back that I use for stamping. So I usually take this with me when I go to pen shows or when I go traveling, and I just stamp it in here. I don't care if it's like, you know, aligned or whatever, or if it, you know, bleeds through to the next page, it's totally fine. But this is kind of like, you know, just documenting the different stamps that I got to use. And I love sort of flipping through it and seeing, you know, the different brands and the different designs and stuff, right? It's just really cool. So I did stamp the Oblation stamp in here, and then they had the Diner stamp from TN, so I got to put that in as well. But I do take this with me when I go to pen shows or stationery events. And then this insert is the California insert from Traveler's Company. It's dot grid, so it kind of like, it is actually really easy to use it for collage journaling or travel journaling if you're into that kind of thing. I started this insert in 2024 for the SF Pen Show. And so I just like threw in, this is where stickers go. When I get a bunch of stickers at a pen show, this is where they go. Very, very cool, right? And it's just kind of nice to like, or if, you know, people start to give me things like Lisa from Olive Octopus gave me this little swatch card that goes in here, right? I love to flip through it and look at, you know, what people gave me and things I sort of took away from pen shows as like ephemera and stuff. Banana Duck from Dustin. And then sometimes I write like little stories in here too. So that's where my photos and like these sort of like freebie stickers and washi tapes and things like that I kind of throw in here as well. But yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's a fun stamp collection for sure, right? I have a few partner stamps in there. I think from Wonder Pens. I have one from New Zealand when we visited. Paper Yeah in Vancouver. Definitely worth going to if you come to Vancouver. And then these are from pen shows, I think. So when Traveler's Company has a table at a pen show, they usually have like their whole collection of TN stamps that they travel with. So kind of like the Stamp Caravan was one of them, and a few ones that, you know, you'll sort of see at pen shows. And then other vendors kind of got into this, and I love this sort of trend of, you know, Skogsy. So there's like stationery brands, pen brands that got into this trend of stamping. Like, I love it. I think it's great. And what a great way of remembering who you saw at a pen show and who you interacted with, because especially with a pen show like SF or like some of the bigger ones, it's hard to remember like all the different tables and vendors you saw and what you saw there. You know, and yeah, it's a great way of documenting it and using it for collaging or journaling that you can add into your notebook later too. And the other thing I have done too is I take sticker sheets, and so you could stamp your sticker sheets that are blank and just cut them out and then later stick them into your journal if you want. I dream of one day getting back to Japan and collecting all the stamps at different locations. I know, I have heard of that, TaintedCrimson, and I feel like I would just, yeah, I would spend so much time just, you know, stamping everything. And I think they have them at like train stations and stuff. Like, yes, right? Like, way to make stamping fun again. So TaintedCrimson, you had a question about Stalogy paper and whether it could take, like, what permanent inks it could take. So I do have platinum carbon black, and I have platinum chokuro, which is the blackest of all black inks. And so you can see the difference between carbon black and chokuro. Even in this light, it's like very, very dark compared to carbon black. So I used an ultra extra fine nib in my 3776, and then I used my Muji pen, which is like, I call it my Muji Preppy because it is basically a Preppy, unbranded for Muji. So I used those, and I have to say this notebook is from, or I got it in 2021. And I started using it for documenting my plants, which I no longer do. But maybe I should get back into it. I don't know. Do you guys do that? And just document the plants that you have and the different plants you get and how to take care of them? I don't know. So this notebook, I did notice, while there is no like obvious bleed through with any of the pens or any of the inks, you can see a little bit of ghosting, right? Like, you can see it, which I'm fine with because that's Japanese paper is fine, right? But the interesting thing is I did find a little, like, in some spots where there's sort of like where you sort of rest the pen before you pick it up and start the next letter, I do see the black dots, right? And to me, that's not a big deal, but it is interesting that this is an ultra extra fine and this is like a fine maybe. If you use anything that's broader with carbon black, you might find that bleed through. So yeah, just where I kind of rested the fountain pen, I could see that it sort of left the little dot that would bleed through to the other side. Whereas my carbon black, or chokuro, sorry, did not do that. And I had it in my BB Sig, which is my pocket Skogsy, and it is like the broadest pen I have. Right, so that's a very, very broad nib. And it's kind of like, it's a stubby design, so, or stubby nib, so it puts down quite the line. And I had no issues with it, so. That is such a wild difference in shade. I know, right? So when they say chokuro is, you know, the blackest of all blacks, they are not kidding. It is so black. Like, I thought carbon black was black, right? Like, this is black. But then you get like this shade of like I don't even know how to describe it. It is so dark. So if you are into just black ink, permanent ink, you know, that works really, really well, that's why my recommendation is Chokuro. And that's why Chokuro is one of my favorite inks, because even though it's expensive, definitely try and get it on discount somewhere with the code or something. But even so, like, it is definitely worth it to me. And if you do use it in your pens, remember to use distilled water to clean it out, because it will sort of leave spots and stuff in your pen, because it is just that ink. It's a pigment ink that doesn't go away. The spotting is what I noticed when I tart carbon black. Yes. Okay. So that is what you saw. I just figured, like, I'm not sure if because this is an older notebook that maybe the paper has changed, which, you know, does happen, and we know that. But yeah, if you did notice the black spots, I did as well. So if you're, you know, writing a journal entry or something like that, and you're using the whole page, I can see how on the other side, you know, you would notice more bleed through. Finally invest in some Chokuro. Well, I do have a code for Atlas Stationers. If you shop there, you can at least get 10% off. And if they're doing a 15% off sale, then my code is matched. So if you do use it, it's Corolla 10. But also, I'm not saying you have to get it from Atlas, but if you can find it, especially on a discount, because it's not cheap, it is worth, I think it's worth the investment, and I think it's worth having that ink in your collection, because for me, what I found is that it performs really well. It is in my pen constantly. Like this, I don't even know where my pen went. I have this pen inked up with Chokuro. Like, I don't think I will change the ink, because I love the pen nib and ink combo. So it is just one of my things. But I also have, so with the carbon black I like, but I don't have a bottle of ink of it. I use the cartridges. So that's a cartridge. It works in, you know, if you have a Muji type of preppy pen. It also works obviously in a platinum pen. But I only have a few cartridges, and I can't think of myself, you know, I don't think I'll buy a bottle of it. I just feel like having cartridges is enough for me. So I use it in my 3776 needlepoint ultra extra fine, which actually it does great in the Sterling Ink TRP notebook. Like, I don't see any spotting or bleed through or anything like that. But also it's a needlepoint, so yeah, no worries. They're still doing 15% off. You use it? Awesome. There you go. Yeah. So definitely, if it's in stock and you can use a code on it, definitely get Chokuro that way. So that's that. And then the last thing I wanted to share was Happy Mail from SuperPlannerGirl. So I got this and I wanted to share what I got. And so a letter, and then like a bunch of really, really cool, yay, thank you so much. This is so kind. I love this. I also like write happy mail to friends and stuff in the community, and I always throw in like extras, right? Like, because we tend to accumulate stickers and like extras of things, and I think, you know, it's always kind of nice to throw in, you know, extras of things that we have, and washi samples too. Yeah, I do this all the time. And there's like a whole batch of stickers, which I love, because I can throw this into my journals, and, you know, there's a pen addict one. I love that one. They're really, really cute. So I love that. Thank you so much. And I love this sticker. I love this. So SuperPlannerGirl designed this sticker. I think it was a little while back, but I think someone sort of in the chat mentioned like big fat nibs, and SuperPlannerGirl just took it and ran with it, and made a sticker out of it. And I think it's really, really cool. I like the colors they used. I love the design of it. I think it's just so much fun. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. And I think it's super, super fun. I think that'll be like a great way of like, you know, making like a journal spread really fun and funny too. I think I'm gonna giggle every time I look at this. It's not something that you can just like put away and be serious about. It's so funny. Also, it's true. I like fat nibs or fatty nibs. So good. The broader, the better. That was a cat themed one for the washi. Oh yes, awesome. That's so cool. So yeah, bunch of cool things. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love these washis. They're so cute. There's a TCMC one there. I love the cats that are in here. And thank you so much for your letter. That was really, really thoughtful. And I'll be sending something back, so look out for that. But yeah, I think that's it. That's it for haul and just general what's going on, update, like what I've been up to and what has been happening in my world of pen shows and stuff. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, you needed this. Oh. Yeah, no worries, TaintedCrimson. Thanks for showing up and thanks for being here. Remember, check out Karina Loves to Plan. Check out her YouTube if you want to get sort of a more inside view of the pen show. I did take some footage. I had my DJI Osmo 4 with me. And so I did take some footage of like me just walking around the show floor. I don't know if you have one of these, but it's really, really cool because it's small, right? So it didn't like stick out. And also it just makes things a little bit more smoother as you're like walking around. So you can use it for hiking and action things, but I was like, it's perfect for a pen show. So I did take some footage, which I have to sift through and edit and stuff like that, but I will put that up as a YouTube video of just, you know, walk the pen show with me. So look out for that and check out Karina's video. Check out Derek's YouTube channel. He does some great interviews and also some great videos of stationery tools and things like that. So and yeah, I hope this was interesting in some way. And it was a smallish haul, I will say, which I think sort of fit the pen show. It was more on the smaller scale, but very more intimate and very just more personable and a great experience. If you are looking to go to a pen show for the first time and you don't want to be overwhelmed, and you're able to get to the Portland Pen Show, like something to that on that scale, I think is a great first pen show. I also think it's a great pen show for kids. Like my kids, they're almost 7 and they had a blast. Like they didn't feel overwhelmed. And one of them does have anxiety, and I thought, you know, she might get a little overwhelmed, but she had a great time. And she kind of flitted off from table to table, stamping, you know, checking out stickers, checking out inks. And so I felt like there was enough for kids to look at and experience as well, especially because they had Inkapet and like other sort of vendors that catered to, you know, more fun, like visual type of accessories and tools. It wasn't just a pen show, it was pens, accessories, pen adjacent stuff, planners, notebooks, that kind of stuff. And so you don't have to be, you know, strictly a pen person. You could, you know, be into accessories and stuff like that and still have a great time. And so I thought it was a great time, and hopefully I'll go back next year and maybe some of you will go. But yeah, so that was that. And thanks so much for joining. I'll see you next week at some point. Surprise stream. But I'll try and announce it again on Instagram and elsewhere if I can. But yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate this community always. It's always a great reminder when I see people in person of why we do this, like why we sort of, hang out and have these relationships, why we send happy mail, right? And why we help each other, answer questions, share what we use, and what works for us. And I love that sort of give and take in the community. And I love hanging out with you in my stream. So hopefully sometime next week, I do want to do some ink painting and stuff like that. So I'll let you know. Have a great weekend. If you're watching the replay, again, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all just for being here and for sharing and for being kind and for your comments. So yeah, it does sound like a fun show. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much, friends. Bye. I'll see you next time.